Start off.
What up, what up, what up?
Yo, my nigga.
Stay Dangerous Podcast.
Sir, we back.
At Stay Dangerous Podcast, all platforms.
All platforms.
How you feeling, bro?
Rested. After a nice little week, boy. I'm
Rested, man.
Yeah, took a
that
little
sounds
week off,
elusive.
you know what I'm saying? Kicked it with the homies. Enjoyed the nice weather in the city. 80 degrees in New York, so you know what time that is. I'm outside.
I see you put the PSA on Instagram.
Yeah. I let niggas know I'm outside. I see that kiss. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. Now that shit, I'm in improv classes now.
Word.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I start doing improv classes every week for the next 2 months. So been having mad fun with that. And then you know what I'm saying? When that weather break in New York, ain't nothing like it, but
Yeah, nah.
That's why you out here.
I touched down the day and I was feeling the energy already.
Yeah.
Like I was supposed to link with somebody in the morning, and I'm like, I already got know you gonna be outside, so just let me know what time. Like I'm already feeling it.
Everybody active when the weather breaks in the
100%.
city. Music
100%.
blasting, Mr. Softy's going. You know how the shit go.
Softy.
Fire hydrants bust open. I like that energy,
It's still April. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. I'm like, yo,
Fire hydrants
April is
open?
nuts, man. You know, how was your week?
My week, I had a beautiful week. A real nice
more
week.
than 24 hours in a day.
Yo, that was funny when you hit me with that. I was thinking about that. Keep us talking about it. I treat the days like it's more than 24 hours in them, man.
This nigga be in Cali to motherfucking East Coast, get their hair braided, do a sound bath, bop. We hit.
Word, yeah, I try to pack a lot into certain days. Some days I rest.
Mm-hmm.
But because I've been packing so much into these days, I don't feel rested.
Yeah,
I feel grateful, man. I actually right before here I had a sound bath that I did. Shout out Hill House, doing collaboration with this black-owned wellness studio out here.
Fire.
Shout out Lisa.
I didn't know it was black-owned.
We met the owner at Dumbo House that day.
Oh shit, that's her whole shit.
Yeah, that's her shit.
I didn't even know that. Yeah. That's fire. Yeah, shout out y'all then, for sure.
Yeah, so Hill House collab.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. I do that once a month, by the way. So tap in.
Anybody thinking about or hasn't had any experience with sound baths, you gotta go try it out. And with Brandon, I've only done a sound bath with Brendan. I think I've done 3 now, 2.
Yeah, you did another one.
Yeah, I did 3. Yeah, I've done 3 in all very different states and different places, different state and country.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, it's one of the only meditation forms I found that really like gets me into that mode where I'm like my eyes closed for an hour straight and I'm just like not sleeping, not just zoned in, like a different mode. So I would definitely advise anybody even thinking about it or curious about it and want to get into that space, definitely check it out.
Any listeners in LA, any listeners in New York, I'm doing stuff in those places, so maybe I'm gonna use our socials to promote that, but I'll mention it on there so y'all can tap in. And you can follow me at Henno House if you really want to get into the wellness space. HENNO House.
Sure. What we rapping about today, my nigga?
You want to tell the people how we coming today? What we talking about?
We talking about love, bro. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we mentioned love on at least once on every episode we've been on.
That's all this whole thing is about, right? That's what they say.
Word. That's what it's all about. But me, it's kind of like just had the inspo, and I'm sure we've had conversations about it where it's just I'm feeling like, what's love? We defining this how? The love that I feel from different people in my life is different than what it's quote unquote. For instance, a love with my mom is what I would classify as unconditional love. But I don't think that love falls under the same category as romantic love. But I hear the same words and I hear all of that, but nobody's giving me a clear definition because to me it's a very different situation. You know what I'm saying? With my mom.
Just to ask, is that because of the unconditional nature you feel like your mom loves you with versus romantic? Is that the biggest difference or what?
Yeah, and and it's not even to say I felt unconditional love outside of just my mom. You know what I'm saying? I felt unconditional love in romantic relationships too, just because I love the person or the person loves me regardless of what is actually occurring. But my issue or my question or my concern, rather, my thinking is just like, what is this love where I love you every day and 24/7, and we lay up and we hang out and we do this and we do that. But then as soon as something goes left that one of us not rocking with, we don't love each other no more. We out of love. We don't call each other no more. We don't check in. I know many of niggas that can't even reach this woman that they was once laying up with that they love and everything like that. So it's like, yo, that man could die tomorrow. That person could die tomorrow. You wouldn't even answer their phone call. You wouldn't even check in on them. You wouldn't even be there if they needed anything. What kind of love is that? You know what I'm saying?
Or I think we talked a lot about the idea that in the past about this idea of disposable, like just people like
Yeah.
you just throw. Actually, you had a good quote on one of our last episodes. You love me in October, my birthday November.
Yeah,
you didn't
where
call
you was
me.
at, bro? Like you throwing.
And that was a friend thing, I think.
Yeah,
But
word. And in that too, like this love shit is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Within friendships, within romantic relationships, within family, all of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really trying to hone in on what are we defining as love and how we showing and how we experiencing love. Because I think it's got a lot of us confused. It got a lot of us hurt. It got a lot of us really questioning what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? But I think that we all, or not all. I can't speak for everybody, but I think most people have felt or experience some form of unconditional love. And I think, in my opinion, unconditional love is kind of really the only real love that there is.
so unconditional love is the only love.
I wouldn't say the only
And
love, like
I
as
thought you
in
did
like
just say that.
it's the only real,
Oh,
the
okay,
only
okay,
real
okay,
love
okay,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But like there's I'd say I have friends that I love, but I wouldn't say that it's the same as, I wouldn't call it unconditional. Like, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't love them no matter what they did.
Right, right.
So you do understand the concept then of there's something that people could do to make you not
Yeah, I
feel
do
that
understand.
same way.
I do understand the concept. Yeah, but
Okay.
not when it's these friends ain't been laid up on my pillow next to me and
Put
talked
your
about kids.
head
With
on
me, you know
my
what I'm saying?
pillow.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying. So when it's that's when I'm starting to get a little. You know what I mean? And I feel for my niggas. You know what I'm saying? I done talked to my niggas this week. I know the niggas going through breakups and situations on their own shit to where like, oh, this somebody that you might have seen your life with and you seen this with. And I know shit happens in relationships on both sides and everybody ain't maybe playing their part or doing what they supposed to do, but now what? You know what I'm saying? You loved me yesterday, today you don't. I call you yesterday, today I'm blocked.
So do you
Whatever.
think it's people are misusing the word love, don't understand the meaning of it, or just are seeking something that they can't actually get to?
I think it's seeking what they can't
So
get to.
people are manipulative when they're saying I love you. They think that they do, but they don't.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always
Yeah,
some
but I'm
people.
talking
Yeah,
about on the
yeah,
whole. Yeah, I'm not talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. I don't think they're intentionally manipulating. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I think it's a feeling that they feel. I think I think it comes from a genuine place, but I don't think that it's being properly disposed. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask you one of these like media alley oop questions just to
What?
like clear the air on this. But like, what would you say to people that hurt somebody, or you know what I mean, like maybe was in a situation that actually was toxic, that was, because some people may take this as you're saying if you ever love somebody, you could never leave them.
Right. And I understand that. It's like, bro, I've been a toxic nigga before. I've done this shit where it's like, oh, word, like, oh, I didn't know that. Or maybe I did some toxic shit on purpose, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason. And I understand that. But I've also done that to my mother. I've also done that shit to my father, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think that I'm not saying that you can't take a step back away from somebody. I'm not saying that you have to spend, once you say you love them, that you have to spend 24 hours a day and you have to be with this person no matter what. I'm talking about, though, that when you leave out of the picture that they're not dead to you, that they could still reach you. You know what I'm saying? Your mama might kick you out the house, but your mama kicking you out the house and saying, don't speak to me again is different than saying, you know, you can call your mama when you leave the house or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So that's the issue that I got with that. It's like you disposing of somebody and then that person is dead to you pretty much. If they can't contact you, you can't see them, you can't do nothing. There's no love there. What love is there?
How did you come to know what love is or what love means?
I say just from the experience of it, I felt it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I haven't heard it I haven't heard it much from my mother. I think I talked about that on the episode, but I could feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know that I've done many wrong things. I pissed my mom off many times. I done lied straight to my mama's face. You know what I'm saying? I done did all kind of shit that she'd be disappointed if she found out. She'd be hurt if she found out. She would cry if she found out. You know what I'm saying? And she's found some things out, and all these kind of things happen. But I know that, oh, you're a human. You're my baby. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. Not I got you and I'm enabling you. I'm here. If you get in trouble here, you could call me, and I'm gonna come at least be to your aid to the best that I can be. You know what I'm saying? So what happens when um you get you do something, you lie to your girl, you know what I'm saying, and she casts you off, and I don't know, you get diagnosed with cancer a week, 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying, later, and you can't reach this person now. You don't care
No,
about
you
me,
blocked.
huh?
Definitely blocked in 2023.
Yeah,
Blocked.
exactly. You blocked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, what? You have no regard for me no more. You don't care about my well being at all because your feelings was hurt about this, or because my feelings was hurt about this. I mean, we hear it a lot of time. I think a lot of the shit niggas, the flack that niggas get is what niggas always keep their exes around, or their exes are accessible. And I would bet my money that a nigga pick up their ex girl phone call before the girl pick up a nigga phone call. And I get that there's many reasons in doctrine to that. Some niggas is just calling you to rekindle and just get some ass. Yeah, for sure. You
Hit
know
you
what
with
I'm
the
saying?
future.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. The future, Joe. Like, tell your mama I said hi. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get that
Anyway,
bag. You know what I'm saying? But
word.
I also know niggas personally that a girl can be across the country that they ain't talked to in 2 years, but if that nigga ever told you he love you, he gonna pick up your call, no matter what you want.
So you think it's different with the genders?
I think so. Based off the expectations, I think that women get hurt more by male. You know what I'm saying? By men. I think they experience hurt more, so they kind of deal with it in a different way. But I think that
I think women experience hurt more than men.
from the opposite sex, yeah, I do. What would you say?
It's for me. It's hard to know, just because men have been so conditioned not to talk about the hurt that they experience that I don't know what my friends are going through sometimes. I think it's been. I think having a podcast actually has helped people like tell me actually what's going on, because they see that I'm having these conversations and I'm trying to figure this shit out myself. But yeah, I think it is hard to. It's hard to gauge for me. I do agree that I see more about women getting hurt
Right.
more often, but I don't know.
Yeah, I can't label it a concrete fact.
Yeah,
like,
I think I know a lot of men who are really hurt who aren't talking about it, and I know plenty more who, if I was them, I would be, but they don't seem to be. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not sure.
But even in regardless, the way I see it, I see men to be a bit more, man, I promise this ain't some macho bravado trying to men versus women shit. It's just this is my honest assessment from what I've observed, you know what I'm saying? But I see men to be a little more pure with their love more than women. Woman seems a little more orchestrated, a little more focused, a little more it has to be step this, that. Whereas men, I think men pick up that phone call from their exes because it's just somebody they care about that they miss.
I don't know if this is what along the lines of what you're talking about, but I do think that a big part of dating for women, I think, is because they're bearing the child. And I know that a lot of my friends who are women have talked about their worth or their purpose being tied to having children. So I know that they deal with that differently. But I say that as a precursor to say I've noticed that women are really building their life around romance. It's like, okay, I'm only spending time with these type of people because I want them to be the father of my children, or you know what I mean, like. And so it's like this sort of trajectory sort of built out where I think men have gotten the label of dating less intentionally, quote unquote.
That's the pure shit I'm talking about.
But yeah, I was saying that may be what you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's less intentional, but it's pure. is like I just like you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just fucking with you. It's the cliche of the rich man will go get the girl from Starbucks, but the rich girl won't never date a nigga that work at Starbucks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Regular nigga can never get Rihanna. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit to where it is more intentional with women. I mean,
But I
they think
also
about
know
them.
guys who will be like, oh, who plan their shit out of I only want to date the baddest girl in the like,
Yeah, yeah. And those niggas are hurt.
yeah, or they like it's sort of like these sick circles, like entertainment circles is a great
Yeah.
athlete circles are great. It's like
Mm.
wives and girls, like wags, the whole like wags is
Yeah.
like
But they all just in competition and shit. Like
right.
they all competition with each other just to have
The,
the baddest and
yeah.
all that shit. Yeah.
Anyway, um, okay, so there's this basically this concept of men and women experiencing love differently. But do you think that men and women understand what love is differently, or they just show it differently?
We understand it differently too. I think we both have different definitions. I think everybody out here just freestyling, bro, and it's like the I love yous come out in romantic relationships. They come out when y'all feel fucking good, bro.
So this is the reason why in the books episode I was saying All About Love by Bell Hooks was one of my favorite books
Word.
because she pulls this definition actually from this book. It's Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck, but she pulls a definition for love into the conversation about love.
Mm.
So it's not this freestyle thing that just like I feel warm and fuzzy when I talk to you.
Right.
But how M. Scott Peck defines it, and then how Bell Hooks is talking about it in the book, is the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth.
Mm.
And I thought that was an interesting definition. Mostly, like a few things stuck out. The will to, so there's like a choice, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm putting that forward.
Right.
I'm extending myself, so it's not convenient necessarily, right? But there's actually a goal in mind. It's for somebody's spiritual growth. And I'm
Mhm.
going to nurture that. And I just thought, hey, whether or not I agree with this definition or not, here's a definition. I've never been actually given
Mm.
a definition that I could remember. I'm like, okay, here's something to work with,
Right.
work off of.
They ain't give us that in school.
But I think mothers, whether they use that or had that in their mind, a lot of times feel that way, right? Like, and I mean, a lot of women I've dated, I think, have felt that way.
Mhm.
I'm not necessarily. My experience has been that for the most part.
Or the women
Um,
that you've been in. How many times you been in love? What is that?
been in love. I'm in love with everything all the time, bro. I'm trying to exist constantly in love.
So how many women, or I guess, the women that you spent significant time with?
Romantic dating.
Yeah.
How many women would I say like serious relationship
Mhm.
love? One, two, three, four,
Right.
four-ish, five-ish.
And could you reach out to all of them if need be?
Majority. There's
Right.
one that I couldn't. There's one that I could
Right.
not.
Does that one make you feel a way that you can't?
Um, you know what? It did before.
Mhm.
But I actually just hope somebody tells her if something happens to me. 'Cause I
Right.
think she does actually care if something happens to me. I
Right.
think
And that's the thing too, is I think that I'm not saying that women that block you and shit don't care about you. I just think that they're not dealing with it in the proper way. They don't know how to deal
yeah, but
otherwise.
nobody's dealing with anything in the proper way,
Right,
quote
right. I
unquote. I
feel
don't
that,
know
yeah.
what is proper,
Right,
but
right, right.
I do think that um our situation devolved to the point where we were hurting each other, and she
Mhm.
opted out of like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing this shit anymore. It's like,
Right.
okay, I feel that. Um, did I feel that there was a choice to see things differently? Absolutely, I did. But do I hold any resentment towards her for the decision she made? No, I don't. But if something were to happen to me, I would want her to know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it's just anybody that I've ever like exchange with on that level, um, it'd be hard to imagine like leaving the planet and they don't know. You know what I mean? Like that
Word.
would be uh interesting to me. And maybe they'll feel it, you know what I mean?
But
Whatever.
on the
But
contrary, you would pick up her call, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Okay, you picked the one example though.
Yeah, I love. I just fucking with you
But
though.
also like there's been situations where people that if the group chat was to weigh in,
Mhm.
they would say they shouldn't pick up my call, but they
Right.
picked it up. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I got it on both sides.
Mhm.
I think that people are dealing with a lot, and the idea of love is confusing for people because they feel so deeply. Things are activated inside them that they don't feel on a normal basis. They have access to what feels like a magic power. It feels like the ability to solve things, to feel a certain way, to exist in the world as this like bloomed flower is sort of unlocked for them because of what they consider to be love. And then all of a sudden it's hurting them. And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I thought this was my secret pill to get the life that I wanted.
Mhm.
And now it's causing me pain. And I exposed myself. I opened myself up to this. And now I feel like I have to withdraw because I've been hurt before. You know what I mean? And so I think people are so confused by that dichotomy that they don't know how to act. And there's no playbook of how to act besides Twitter telling you, or somebody wrote a movie script that was,
Yeah.
I whatever. And so I think the expectations for love are out of whack, and I think how people show up in love are irrational. But I don't hold anybody at fault for that.
Mm. So
Um,
do you think then it just comes naturally with the family dynamic? Because I mean, our moms and dads and siblings, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you've had experience with each one of your family members, mom, dad, sibling, a bullshit ass situation. There's been lies. There's been betrayal, maybe that you felt. There's been arguments. There's been name calling. There's been anything you could fucking name. But no matter what, that's still your family, and you know that you there for them at any motherfucking time because you love them, no matter what.
well, so I actually yes, let me answer your question directly. Yes, there are. I've been through a lot of situations with my family, and at the end of the day, we're still there for each other, and we still will answer each other's calls or all that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, you've been on this podcast talking about how you didn't talk to your dad for years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also times where maybe in the family you wouldn't pick up the call. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that family is just um, impervious to all of these things that can make it confusing to be exchanging love with somebody. I won't say be in love with because I think people only treat that romantically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also disagree that just because I'm willing to show up for you means that I love you. I'm willing to show up, like even to go off the definition I just said, I'm willing to show up for you. I'm willing to answer your call. I'm willing to even perhaps bail you out of whatever it is. But am I extending myself towards nurturing your spiritual growth? Like that's not a one-time thing. That's not a passive thing. That's not a, I'm gonna answer your call this time thing. That's an active every day. I'm trying to build with you, or not. Maybe it's not every day, but
Right. But
there's
when
some
we do
reoccur.
interact, I'm trying to,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying that exists just because I showed up.
Okay.
And that's why I was on another podcast episode. I was talking about this idea that abuse and love can't coexist.
Mm-hmm.
And again, whether you agree or not, it's an interesting concept to even wrestle with. So if your family, if you feel like there's an abusive thing, whether it be physical, emotional, whatever, and they tell you that they love you, maybe they care about you a lot and they don't know how to love you. And maybe that person, that romantic situation, maybe that woman, that man, whatever, if you're listening, like maybe they cared about you. They just didn't understand what that took or what that meant. And when they got hurt, their fear showed up. And like, so there's one definition, I gave a definition of love. There's one definition that says God is love.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if God is love, and
Everybody.
it's in the Bible, it's, it's a bunch of different places,
Yeah.
um, then fear is the opposite of love, right? So it's like if their fear is showing up, their love can't be there. So if their fear is showing up, I'm not blaming them for that. They can't. Those two things can't coexist.
Feel that. I can feel that, but I'm just like, I'm wrestling with the fact is like, because you bringing my pops, and I've thought about that. Like, yeah, there would have been a time I ain't pick up his call. You know what I'm saying? But that's ultimately what led to me to repairing a relationship. I sit there and realize, yo, if this man die tomorrow, if this man go tomorrow, and I just was on some spiteful, I ain't picking up your call because we got in an argument and you did some shit I ain't like, and we was beefing for real. That's crazy. I need to repair this relationship. In the moment that I make that decision to repair the relationship, the real love shows we're both down to do this, and we both are welcome and open to do this. And then these are situations to where it's a much bigger deal than I don't see women I speak to be forever for much smaller things. You know what I'm saying? So where like, I don't think you really love me. I think you love how I made you feel. I think you love the things I did. I think you love how a lot of characteristics about me, but actually Sakif, the human being, loving the flaws and just the man that I am, period, I don't think you unconditionally love me. I think you love me when I'm loving you.
Yeah, and I think the biggest condition to love, you talk about unconditional love. The biggest condition to love is as long as you don't trigger my fear.
Word.
That's the condition.
Word.
Because once you trigger my fear, my love goes away. It just can't coexist. You know what I mean? And so, but I think that. So I say that to say I don't think our parents fear the pain that we will cause as much as our lovers do. So I think our parents are willing to look aside from our flaws because whether or not it's just a sort of, they think they're superhuman and that they're not going to be as affected by it, or they're willing to take the bullet. They say, no matter what pain you may cause me, I'm willing to still fight for the love for you
Mm.
because you came from me. You're of
Yeah.
me, right? Whereas somebody you're dating may say, you know what, that I have a pain threshold for what I'm willing to endure to fight for love because that scares me to go beyond that. And I'm not sure if it's worth it. Right. So there's an option in romance where it's like, I'm actually seeking out a mating partner.
Mm.
I'm not sure that you're the one, so it may not be worth it for me to go through this with you.
Right.
Family, there's no
Yeah.
option. It's
Yeah.
here. And we've already, we've already established that I tend to believe that we choose our family before we're born, right?
Mm.
So it's like I've already chosen you.
Mm. Facts. And yeah, I believe that too. Like it's just in the spiritual world, you don't feel like that we choose our friends and our mates as well before we're.
I think I don't. I'm not going to say that, but I think it's less apparent to us the bond. Like people are choosing their mates by doing this,
Right.
just swiping
Right.
left to right, and hoping that the person they made a pact with in another lifetime is here on this app.
Yeah. Word.
But I've been known to say all the time, my son is straight from my nutsack to the world, bro. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? Like
Yeah.
that's from me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no denying that.
And it's really just like I wanted to open the convo and kind of just even talk about just like cause bro, it's like I'm watching niggas like definition of insanity, like literally trying the same thing
Mm.
over and over and over and over and over. Divorce rate, what, 50%? 1 and 2 of y'all motherfuckers divorced. The other, I'm sure 30% unhappy and just sitting with their shit and et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of like, yo, let's start thinking about these things differently because the way we is doing this shit is not working, bro, at all.
Bro, I'll definitely want to get to you with the divorce rate and some, you know what I'm saying, figure out what's going on with romance in this country. But
Yeah.
before we get into all that,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My favorite time.
bit check.
Bit check. Let's get it.
Holla at the
Oh, we
people,
need to start
man.
putting the AB to put that shit on during this shit too.
Oh, yeah, put that shit on.
Yeah, we gotta start putting
I'm never
put that
thinking
shit
about
on.
putting AB on. I don't even know what you
I
meant
just
by
see
that.
Gilly and Wallow. I'm like, hey, yo, we gotta put that shit on here. But nah, for sure. Nah, I started off. Definitely brought. I'm gonna start bottom up. Just white ups. Was feeling real New York vibes today. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? Got the white ups on. Denim. Denim is acne. I've been wearing a lot of acne lately too. Yankee cap on. Just started baseball season back up. You know what I mean?
You like New Yorked out. You was very
Yeah, you know what I'm
excited for it to
saying?
be
Knicks
80
in the
degrees in
Knicks
New
in
York. Very
the
excited.
yeah, Knicks in the playoffs
You
and
believing
shit.
in that? Or you
And
just stating facts?
Bro, the Knicks in the playoffs is just good for the city,
Okay,
fam.
you just
Like
stating facts.
a
Okay.
first the potential of going to the next round for New York to be that exciting goes crazy, and they can. They a 5 seed. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 seed. I don't know. They playing Cleveland, whatever. But yeah. And then I just want to like you know what I'm saying, kind of give a background on this shit right here. But this is a Jeff Hamilton suede leather football basketball Allen Houston combo jersey that
You said a lot of words right there,
yeah,
bruh.
bro. Yo, I thought this shit was been in my closet since maybe 2001, 2002, and my mom. So like every Christmas, my mom would we write our Christmas list and she do her shopping and shit. So she really my favorite store is the NBA store. You know, this is the Jersey era, so you go to the NBA store, but there always be one thing on my list that she just gonna surprise me with, something that's not on my list. You know what I'm saying? So
Word.
she always gonna give me a big surprise, and usually that shit be fly. So this year that was a surprise. You know what I'm saying? I just
Word.
remember it like man, I was not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I could tell that this shit that it was expensive at the time. Like probably
Word.
like some $400 shit back then. But I'm like, bro, all I could just envision is just because this back in the Jersey era, you know, niggas getting the fake jerseys off galore. So I'm
Word.
like, I can't show up with the leather football, blah. I don't even know how to rock this shit, but. I decided I bust this shit out for the first time this year at the Knicks game, man. It was
Word. I
like,
remember you showed it to me still in the crib. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, throw that shit on, bro. You can
Yo,
do it now.
I seen the vision. I was like, word, that was crazy. I went to the Knicks game, and nigga was like, wow, they don't make them like that anymore. He
They
like, that
certainly do
goes
not.
crazy. I was like, yeah, so shout out, Ma. She see the vision, you know what I mean? But,
Word.
I mean, how you coming, bro?
Definitely not on the New York. You look like a New
yeah.
York poster child, bro.
Yeah,
Like you look
word.
like you was you went to one improv class. Now you trying out for a Spike Lee film,
Hey,
dog.
boy,
Your
it's
shit
80
going
in the
crazy.
city, boy. Yankee season
And you
started
threw
up,
on a
Knicks in the
leather jersey
playoffs.
because it's 80 in the city. All right, I guess
You
that
know what I'm
makes
saying? Yeah, you know
sense,
what I mean?
kinda.
Mhm.
As for me, actually I got some stories too, low key. Uh, the Elite's clogs from the bottom up, doing the Elite's clogs.
Mhm.
I threw on some more Issey Miyake, bro.
Yeah,
Every
word.
time,
I figured that's what
basically.
those was. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, pleaded.
these go crazy. Like the way that they move,
Mm.
there's like this built-in structure that you can't see unless I'm moving, and then it kind of bends and contorts in different ways. It's actually a suit, but I'm just throwing on the pants right now, some casual shit. But yeah,
Them be the little nuances that niggas that's not with the fashion or like up to on the fashion, like where you think like, oh, I can get some pants like that from wherever for 20. Like, yo, boy, put them things on. It's a big difference.
it's a big
It's a
difference.
big
It's a big
difference.
difference. Real quick, I had on some Issey one time, and somebody was like, "Oh, I think he has on the same pants." And like,
That
he
sounds
did
like
not have on the same pants. I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna. I'm just saying he did not have on the same
Fashion Nova
pants.
for men.
Um, I got on a plain tee crop joint actually from Brooklyn Circus.
Word.
Cool little light son. But this, I don't know, Shacket.
Yeah.
This right here is this company called I think it's called From Mu, MUU. I think that's right. I'll put it in the link though. It's this guy. I got this at a random Japanese boutique in Hong Kong, bro. When I was out there for Art Basel for my boy. What up, Bob? I was out there for my boy's birthday one year,
Word.
and like combines East and West, so it's like kimono style, but cut as like a denim jacket or denim shirt.
Word.
It's got like this embroidery. He makes all this shit by hand, but he makes this like it's embroidered with these arrows and shit to nod to like Native Americans. But like I said, it's very Japanese. This is a Japanese guy who makes it. It was just hella random, like just enough weird for me. So I picked it up out there. So yeah, and then I actually want to shout out. Last time you asked me about my hair, and I was like, bro, I ain't trying to go back and forth with you. But I do want to shout out Lisa, Cut by Roses. That's who braids up the hair. So
she's ill, by the way.
very ill.
Very ill.
Very ill. Shout out.
I met Lisa today too for the first time. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? I was just calling her Queen's Cuss and Roses. You know what
Queen's
I'm saying?
Cuts and
But shout out
Roses.
Lisa, it was good.
Mona Lisa. All right, man. So, do you think? So, there's a lot of reasons out there theorized about why the divorce rate is as high as it is. A lot of people are saying monogamy is not a real thing. Not to say that we need to get into that
Mm,
as a whole topic on this episode. A lot of people are saying capitalism is what ruins marriages.
mm,
But you're saying at the root of it is just a complete misunderstanding of love.
mm.
So you think though then that marriage rooted in love is a real thing and a possible thing because there's this like sort of like ownership history of love.
Mm,
There's this keeping money in the family, sort of like just a monetary contract, basically, of marriage,
mm,
where that's where people are coming from. Sorry, I think I said of love when I meant of marriage before, but like basically, there's all these roots of ownership, root of marriage. There's
mm.
this contract root of marriage, but you're saying a love-based marriage could work if we knew what love was.
For sure. I mean, it was the same. Marriage is a business decision. Like, nigga, that saying always sounds crazy to me. Like, what the fuck do you mean a business decision? Like,
For tax reasons.
yeah, what you
Yeah.
got to get married for tax purposes? You sound crazy. Like,
No, but that's really what it's built from and
yeah,
for.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
history.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, so I don't agree with that, but I do think that marriage is possible. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that obviously with the divorce rate being what it is, I don't think most people are getting into it for that reason. Like, I'll be watching shows and these girls watching some reality shows girls be watching now. Yo, these niggas getting married after 3 weeks, after 1 month. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, what you doing? You know what I mean? And but then you gotta understand. I guess I don't know. If my perception is skewed, but I'm always basing my idea of love off this unconditional love. So there ain't no amount of money that get in between me and my mama love. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no amount of money that get in between me and my people that I really care about love. You know what I'm saying? There's a conversation to be had. There's something to be had where if it's something like that, I don't think the love is there like you say is there. If the money caused the breakup, you know what I'm saying?
So as we were prepping for this, I was kind of pulling all these definitions of love and like trying to figure out what people thought about it. Again, like God is love, or there's a book actually, Course in Miracles, talks about miracles as an act of love, or this idea of the will to extend oneself for the nurturing of the spiritual growth and development. Um, but there's a sort of like perpetual grace that you've been talking about of like this unconditional love, like no matter what, I'm gonna choose to extend you grace. And then I started thinking that um the way I maybe understand love is making the choice to see the divine in you despite whatever else is going on. Like I'm just making the choice to see the divine in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that's the closest thing that helped me coincide that with marriage. Because I've talked to a lot of older people or even younger people with parents who have been married for a while, and they constantly tell me it's not that I love this person every second. It's not that they didn't get on my nerves, whatever. It's just that every day I made the choice to stay with them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people did that to their detriment, but some people figured out how to make it work because of that. And I guess maybe they were just choosing to see like the pureness in the person, the divinity in the person.
Mm-hmm. Fairness. Mistakes will be made, my nigga. Like it throws me off when we just sit here playing with, oh, if that mistake is made, I'm out of here, or if this dude do this, I'm gone, or if this is that. But it's like, do you not make mistakes? Do you not? Yeah, maybe you think what he did was worse, quote unquote, but you don't know how bad you hurt that man or how he really feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, to where it's like we just coming up with a list of rules to where it's like this human do this, fuck them. This person do that, fuck them. Like, I watch people literally just keep recycling people as life go on. You got 10, 11, 12 ex-boyfriends and blah, blah, blah. You not never sitting down and be like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Well, self accountability, that'll have to be another
Yeah.
episode. We're gonna have to maybe we'll record that after this. But
Word. Like, yo, at some point, somebody got to be like, what the fuck, bro? What we doing?
so I feel you on that. But the question I have is, where does trust come in all this? Because I hear you saying like, oh, I've lied about this, or like mistakes will be made or whatever. And I do understand that, and I think
Mhm.
most of the reason why we lie is because we're afraid of something. So it's a natural thing for people
Always.
to have lied.
Mhm.
But um, at some point, somebody is choosing to show up for you every day. They want to know they can believe in you, they can trust you. So where does trust come in all the stuff you're talking about?
I think trust is a big component, but like you said, we all lie. So that those are the like the discretion that I'm asking. I guess it would be discretion on where it's like it is a lie, but is what's the lie? What is the lie about? Why was the lie told? Is this lie something that you can get over, or is this lie? To me, bro, there's very few examples of a lie that somebody can tell me to where I'm ready to not speak to you for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like that threshold is very small for me. Where it's like I'm pretty sure that any lie somebody told me, or no matter how big or small, that is like I'm ready to have that conversation about that shit.
Is there an example you may have, and it's okay if you don't, but like of a lie that you think other people may think is unredeemable, can't come back from, that you're like, no, that's like we chilling.
Oh shit. I've had instances. I mean, I've had relationships all through the course of my life. I started dating when I was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I've had instances. I've lied about my whereabouts somewhere, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I've had the instances where I've lied about my whereabouts because I was actually somewhere where it would have hurt this person's feelings, or I just lied about my whereabouts because I was doing my own thing and I didn't care to tell you where I was at, and I was just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Like not a detriment, but I know people that say, "Well, oh, well, you lied." Oh well, now I can't trust you. I can't. You can't trust anything I say now. Like that. That's how it go. Because if that's the game we playing, you not even being honest with yourself. Because you lie. I know you lied to your mama. I know you lied to this person. I know you lied to your friends at times because you know that either a it's for your privacy, it's for
So
your benefit.
have you been lied to?
Yeah, of
And
course.
what is your response to that usually?
Talking it out, or bro, sometimes I ignore that shit, bro. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, this I know this person
It's nothing
lying.
like ignoring a good lie.
Yeah, fam.
Like
It's like I know this person lying, but I'm not finna grill them like and all this because a lot of the times I could see I
when
know
I
the
ignore a
reason you're
lie,
lying,
yeah, when
fam.
I ignore a lie, I'd be like, I would have lied about that too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like, fam,
word.
like, come on, like I know why you're lying, my nigga. You know what
But
I'm
those be
saying?
white lies for me. Like it don't be like whereabouts lies.
That's the thing too, though. But that white lie shit, be like, it's like it's not being defined. So it's like, what a white lie to you may not be a white lie to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel that, but it's like at some point, like we gotta get the if we harping on shit like that, it's like, do you not do that? Do you not understand why I might be doing that? People are always lying or
Well,
doing things out of fear,
the
bro.
reason why I asked how you respond to that, because I'm not saying that people don't lie or that's a natural. It seems to be part of the human condition or human experience for your fear to take over your
To protect,
communication.
yeah, to
So
protect
you said
yourself
it
in
like,
some way.
yeah. But I think what I would love to see more of in relationships is people saying, damn, you lied to me and I want to talk about it. And not why'd you like not I want to grill you about where you was at, but I wanna know, why don't you feel safe here?
All right,
Like I would love that to be a conversation.
that's all the conversations that need to be,
And I
bro.
don't I don't know that I've ever seen people do
Yeah, it's an instant. I can't believe. What you mean you can't believe you lied? Told your mama you was at this person's house when you went over there. Like what you mean? You know exactly how this shit goes. So stop acting like you can't fathom why the fuck a nigga did this or did that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can understand. You don't want to understand, and you think that this is some. You think I'm lying because my intention and goal is to crush your feelings and make you like and make you look stupid and like whatever. Like, no, that's not my intent at all.
But yeah, I think it's hard for people to understand what the intention is when people are lying because they're not asking the questions about that.
Mm-hmm. And I understand, you know what I'm saying? It gets there. But like you said, it's out of fear, it's out of consequences. I done dealt with the police. You know, when I first started getting arrested when I'm young, right? I done been in interrogation room where I had just admit the crime. Like I'm thinking, cause I have no training, you know what I'm saying? I got no co-defendant, ain't nobody there with me. I just, oh, hey bro, just tell us this would be your best course of action. All right, cool, yeah. That was what I was doing. Like, cool. Ain't no thing. Oh, and then immediate punishment for that. Oh, I shouldn't have did that. I should just lied. You know what I'm saying? So to where it's like that kind of shit carries with you it's consequences. Oh, I'd have told this girl that I was very upfront and honest about whatever the fuck I was dealing with, and that girl said "fuck you" and left and won't even pick up my call no more. Why would I? What the fuck?
So you ask other people to be accountable. How are you coming to terms with your past trauma that you just shared in order to show up as yourself, sort of unapologetically, as you do maybe even on the podcast?
Man, upfront, being I'll be uncomfortably honest sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like I get real uncomfortably honest to kind of show lead by the same thing. Lead by example. Like yo,
But
look,
so how does that translate to relationships though, where you're saying like, okay, I've had these traumatic experiences, but I'm not gonna let them define how I communicate with somebody that I love.
I've seen a lot of positives come out from it. I've reached unconditional love with different relationships that I've had, different people in my life, male and women, where I've got there. You know what I'm saying? But not that it wasn't a hurdle. There was those talks. Oh shit, that's blah blah blah. That's fucked up. That's this. But oh, we had these talks. I actually care about you as a human. So let's figure out everything else, but I actually give a fuck about you. So fuck all this shit. You did that, I did this, you did that. But I love you. So what we talking about?
You know what's interesting too? You talk about like parents versus romance. We haven't talked a lot about friends. I wish we talked more about friends on this episode.
I mean, we had
Yeah.
a friendship episode. So.
Yeah, but love is a bit different. But anyway, this idea of being right. I think um parents good parents learn to take their ego out a little bit when it comes to like they realize at some point this is not their life. This is somebody else's life.
Mm.
So the idea of having to be right all the time is lessened. Whereas I feel like with peers, whether they be romantic or friends, some of that competition of I want to be right shows up, and it prevents that unconditional love because it's like I would rather be right than show you love right now because it makes me feel
But
better.
your son start lying to you yet?
My son's 6, of course he's lying.
Word.
But it's like funny when a kid lies,
I mean, it's like it's just human nature,
but
man.
it's like it's fear, but it's humorous to me
Word.
because he thinks that he's getting away with something, and that's like it's just funny to me to like see how his brain works because you can see how creative people are gonna get.
Mm.
But also, I think my son is like he's lied before, but he's not a big liar. He would rather say nothing than lie to you.
Mm.
He would rather just eat it and not talk about it and say, huh, like walk away, but like nothing. I don't want to talk. Like he would rather do that. But of course,
No. I think we all would. I think everybody would much rather just be able to tell the fucking truth and do all of these things. But bro, this we gotta figure something out different, bro. We operating in all this shit wrong, chaotic, and just running in circles, bro. We on a hamster wheel with this love shit.
so what do you want to leave the people with?
I want to lead the people with you identifying somebody in your life that you love, that you strongly care about, that you really say you love. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just saying some manipulative, keep them around shit and all of that. If you really love that person, then I would say that try to find, if y'all not speaking, try to find a way to where y'all speak. If, whether it be, I mean, I know you said you had a situation to where it hurt every time we interact. You know what I'm saying? It was just damaging. But if it's not that, reach out to this person, find some common ground. If y'all in a marriage, y'all in a relationship, identify, do we really love each other as human beings, regardless of this and that? Do you love me on my worst day? I know that shit sound cliche as a motherfucker, but like that's real shit. Like if I identify that I love you, even you as a friend, you know what I'm saying? Like I love you as a friend, right? So um there's very little that you can do to me where I'm like, Brendan, I'm never gonna speak to this nigga again. Very little. But I've had friendships to where I did one thing and now you all of a sudden you tell me you love me every day, now you don't say anything to me. That to me is not real, you know what I mean? So and I've thought about that. I'm like, what can Brendan possibly do to me where I would like, I'm
So
gonna
this
ISO
was
this
keeping
nigga?
you up at night.
Sometimes I think about these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, up there, I'm like, man. Because I mean, if it happens to me, I'm like, damn. What if somebody did something like that to me? I don't think there's much this nigga can do other than like intentionally. I'm gonna hurt this nigga Keith, and it be like some real evil shit. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's like, bro, that's my nigga. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk to this nigga, and I love him, and we'll figure something out. Like that's it. I'm saying, but I'm a nigga with I'm swallowing my pride, swallowing my ego, like all that. So I know all that kind of shit come into play. But anything you want to leave off with?
Yeah, I want to encourage people when you're thinking about love, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be romantic, to challenge yourself to define love and define a love that actually is true love and a courageous definition that doesn't encompass or doesn't necessarily encompass everything that you thought was love, but it's something that actually gives love a purpose and a tangible place to whether you can say no and yes and share that with your partner and build towards that and understand that you all aren't in competition with each other. Um, yeah, I think that's basically all I want to do. I think this idea of God being love or nurture, extending yourself to nourish one's or nourish yourself or nurture your own or your another's spiritual growth. All the definitions of love, I think, all go back to um, can I see you as purely a person as you are, and it. But notice it doesn't say if you do that for me. I think a lot of people are always saying like, I would love you on your worst day if I thought you would love me on mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of
You
it's
didn't.
the
You didn't.
reciprocation.
You didn't do that to me, so I'm not gonna do that for you. It's like,
Mm.
ah,
Yeah.
so now you're holding something I did wrong against me, or you saw was wrong. So right there, you're choosing to say, I'm not gonna see you for your purest and your most divine. I'm
Mhm.
gonna see you for when you made a mistake and hold that against you as I show up for you. So just think about these things when you think about love and understand how ego and fears get in the way of how you're loving. That's it.
Facts. That reciprocation should be real, dog. Somebody tell you look cute so they can hear you. They just want to hear you say it back. You know what I'm saying? That's it. They say they love you, so you can say it back. They need to
Or
feel that shit. Just a boomerang to them. You know what I mean? But
yeah, and I think the last thing you remind me of something. Dependency is not love. That goes for parents. That goes for children of towards their parents. That goes for lovers. That goes for friends. Love involves choice. As long as there's dependency, there really can't be love. So yeah, like when I was younger, I love my parents. I thought I did, but I didn't have a choice but to
right,
love them. They're feeding
right,
me, they're housing me,
right.
everything. So I'm
Yeah, right.
understanding what love looks like for them now. Um, but yeah, I think all that codependent, all that I need you to make me feel better, all that I feel wonderful and warm when I'm around you. There's a difference between care, there's a difference between connecting with someone, loving someone. These are all different things. So challenge yourself and really try to understand. And I think for the most part, you learn a lot about yourself and your own pureness and your own divinity as you explore the topic of love. So
Love is the key always, man. I love y'all. Love you, my nigga.
love you, my nigga. Love
Go ahead,
y'all.
end this one out, man. Stay dangerous, my niggas.
Stay
We
dangerous.
out of here.
Yeah.
Holla.